It's been a while, hasn't it, my friends? Everything's set. This is a present from me to you.
Can't you see? This is the final battle!
Welcome to New Super Final Battle. I'm your host, Andrea. With me this week is Emma Coholm.
That would be me.
And no one else. Because no one else showed up. I blame this on traitor Adam Owen.
Definitely.
He's officially the worst in the world.
Oh wow, that bad.
Yes, that bad.
So many shots fired here right now within the first minute. Holy cow.
I don't approve of the fact that he has a course to attend to when he should be being part of these podcasts, as he were part of deciding the time upon recording of.
Isn't he studying bullshit too?
I don't know, probably.
Everything's bullshit when you're studying that instead of recording your podcast with us.
Exactly. Tommy's away today. He is getting drunk with Norwegian people, apparently.
Well,
that's really all I've been told.
Well, that sounds legit.
Yeah, sure. But we're here, and we're gonna try and do a podcast with two people and see how that goes. So let's just dive right into it. What have you been playing this week?
I've been playing two games pretty much all week. I'm playing Talisman, which I picked up from the Steam Summer Sale.
Oh, yes, you have.
Yeah, I have a crazy amount of hours already, though. Well, admittedly, quite a few of them are from just idling in the menus. Talisman Digital Edition is a digital edition of the board game called The Talisman. Who'da thunk it? Should I be going over what Talisman is?
No.
Okay.
That would take too long.
Yeah, because Talisman...
It's a very fun board game.
Yeah.
Is there online play in it?
Yeah, there's some online play.
Oh, there is?
Yeah, for 1 to 4 players. Online,
yes, the one player online play is my favorite.
You can actually do that if you want to.
What?
Yes.
Really?
You can go into online, press 2 players, and then have 1 AI in the game.
Who would do that?
I don't know. I don't even know what part of that is online, considering it's not like the games are hosted on a server anywhere. No. Everything is hosted peer-to-peer, so basically...
The AI is controlled by the cloud.
Yeah, that's...
The showdown just waiting to happen.
That's the way it should be in that case, but no, that's not the way it is. The AI...
That would actually be a really interesting way to do do bots for multiplayer.
Yeah.
Have a cloud that would adapt to how various players play.
Yeah, but that is way too complicated for Talisman Digital Edition, because... let's just put it this way. The game it's based on is abso-fucking-tastic.
Yeah, did you play online?
Yeah, I played online, and
Alright.
Lots of times. That's mostly what I've been doing, because I made tons of people get Talisman, and then we've been playing Talisman. But everything that isn't the core game itself works pretty shoddily. I've seen so many crashes due to random bullshit. There's certain menus where you get to choose, say you're buying health at the doctor's. How much health are you buying? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. In that menu, if you raise the slider too quickly, the game will crash, because it will go out of sync with every player, because the other players won't see the result you see. So you buy, for instance, 3 health. And another person sees you buying 2 health. And, well, yeah, that makes you crash at the very next, it syncs in waves. So the very next time it tries to sync the game, it notices, oh, there's an error here. And then it just crashes. So Vitz, what you need to do in every instance when there's one of those things, one of those sliders on screen, is you go 1 + 1 + 1 really slowly, so that everyone gets every update, because otherwise it crashes. And you can't resume games unless you are Steam friends with every single player in the game. If there's only one player in the game who is not on your Steam friend list, you're fucked. You can't resume that game. It's lost forever. Like, there's so much that it's kind of fucked up, like from the game developer's perspective. It's definitely a great board game treated very badly, but I'm hoping that they're sorting these things out. From what I see when I'm looking at the forums, it used to be way, way worse than it is today. So hopefully in a few months or so, it will be pretty nice. Also kind of sucks how you can't be more than 4 players, considering you can be way more than 4 players when you're playing it on the tabletop. So yeah, that's kind of a bummer, because it's happened more than one time that we have 5 people who want to play. It's like, okay, so one person will have to accept not playing, and these... Like, the box says it takes 90 minutes to play. Nobody who's ever played Talisman would ever tell you it takes 90 minutes to play. It takes hours. One game of ours took 7 hours, but that was, like, the most extreme by far. So what more can I say? I mean, it's still worth the money, I think. Especially considering how much money you get off during the Steam sales, but...
Well, the Steam sale is over now, so...
Oh, is it? Oh, that...
Yes, it ended 2 days ago.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah, so it's more expensive now. It's probably still worth the money, really. But you have to be prepared for what you're getting into. My favorite glitch, though, and I hope nobody who's made Talisman is listening to this podcast right now, because I don't want you to fix this glitch. For some reason, I have no idea why this is. I'm pretty darn sure it's a glitch. When you host games online, you can access some content from expansions which you don't own. Like if you press certain buttons. It's a little finicky and you can't get everything, but you can get quite a lot of it. So I don't own any expansions, but I can use pretty much almost everything in the game. I just can't, like, I go random characters. Random characters includes characters which you don't have unlocked. You don't own these characters, but it's random, so if you're lucky, you might get a character you don't own. I hope they don't fix that, because it's pretty nice. I like playing random character anyway. So just playing random character, like, okay, I don't buy any of the expansions, I'm just getting to play expansion characters anyway. Expansion rule sets, everything. Only I can't specify I want these rule sets, I can just go random, and then I get them. I think that's a glitch. I don't see why it wouldn't be one.
Yeah.
It's a pretty neat glitch. But yeah, as I've been saying, overall great game, but the port for PC is not that great really. But it works, and that's good enough for me at least. Even though it definitely makes the experience all the worse. Other games I've been playing would be Zelda, A Link Between Worlds for the 3DS. Like, oh my god, I feel like I'm 12 again. That game is fantastic. Like, if you haven't read the Boss Dungeon review, I say do it, because every word in there is freaking true. It's just fantastic.
So you say it's the best Zelda game ever made? Because that's what it says in the review.
No, it says it tops Wind Waker, and I never said...
Which, in the previous review of Wind Waker, is stated the best Zelda game ever made.
Oh, okay, yeah, but then you have to go read another review. I'm saying that A Link Between Worlds, that review is probably true. Actually, I'm not sure. I haven't beaten the game yet, so it feels a little bit premature to say it's better than Wind Waker. So far, I'm liking it better than I liked Wind Waker my first time through. I can say that much. But I'm probably not going to say it's the best Zelda game ever, no. But Wind Waker wasn't my favorite. It never was. So that solves everything for me. But, you know, it's a fantastic game. Just starting it up, I was like, okay, So this game is going to just drip with nostalgia all over. It's not going to feel fresh. It's going to be like, okay, you're playing a 3D remake of A Link to the Past, which is a sequel of. And right out of the gate, I never felt that way, really. The only part where I've actually felt that way is how you, like, very, very minor spoiler, the other world in the game.
Low rule.
Yeah, Low Rule. Oh my god, that name.
Fucking god.
It's basically the Dark World. And I don't see why they even try to hide this. Because it's definitely going all, hey, remember the Dark World from A Link to the Past? Yeah,
I am quite certain that A Link to the Past A Link Between Worlds started out as a remake of A Link to the Past. Because Miyamoto was talking about wanting to do a remake of A Link to the Past, and we all know from statements from interviews, A Link Between Worlds was basically started out with only the gameplay being built into the game and the story being written very much late into the thing. So I'm pretty sure that it was meant to be the Dark World, and then they just, when they changed the story, decided, nope, it's Low Rule.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's totally the Dark World. I mean, the moment you step your foot in there, you're actually standing in one of the few screens that don't look like they're coming straight from the SNES game from the Dark World. So that's actually, you just hear the music, like, okay, so this is basically the Dark World music. And then you walk down a few screens. Oh, and here are the Dark World enemies. And the Dark World tile set. And every object I'm seeing is from the Dark World. So basically, this is the Dark World with one or two screens being different. I really don't get why they just don't call it the Dark World if it's really stupid, but hey, whatever. I mean, I just love how open the game is. Normally, I'm not big on the whole, oh look, it's so open kind of design. Like, I don't really get it. I never have too much of an issue with pretty much any game set in a corridor, I think. Aside from Final Fantasy 13, now that I think about it. Okay, so there's definitely some extreme where I don't like it. But usually, I don't mind corridorness much. But just playing this game, I noticed something that mostly when people scream, oh, this game is so open, you can do whatever you want, then yeah, they actually mean what they're saying. You can do pretty much anything you want, because it's a sandbox game, right? But this isn't a sandbox game. It's pretty much like Zelda 1 all over again. Here's a huge world. There's puzzles all over the world. Do them in whatever order you wish to. You still need to do all of them. It's pretty much a linear arc when you look at it like from a bird's view perspective, but you can explore as you wish. You can find things in the world in the order you wish to. And it's freaking neat. And it's got it fixes so many of my issues with the Zelda series in general. Like, I hate how when you get into a dungeon in pretty much any Zelda game from Ocarina of Time, well, up until now, you get an item in the dungeon, and then you use that item for every single thing in the dungeon. You reach the boss, and oh, I wonder what item I should be using against the boss. Perhaps the very same item I got in the same dungeon. You use that item on the boss gets stunned, you whack him with your sword. And that's every dungeon in every boss, in every Zelda game, ever since Ocarina of Time. A Link Between Worlds changes this. Okay, so you pretty much still have one or two items per dungeon, but you don't actually find the items in the dungeons, which is fresh and nice. I'll get into more detail on that later. But knowing which items you're supposed to be using against the boss is not that easy. And several of the bosses don't even require you to use items. It says you can just sword them to death. It's like, wow! And there's a semblance of difficulty there as well. It's, I don't know, I'm blown away. And how this all works, because, you still need items for your dungeons, right? I said that. Well, basically, the game lets you nab almost all the items in the game, almost right out of the gate. You can rent items. So there's a few hours into the game, I got like 80% of the items I'm going to have throughout the entire game, and I can just use them to go whatever I fucking want. It's fantastic. And it's such a simple fix. I thought at first that, hey, it's going to feel so cheap that I don't need to earn these items. And to be fair, it did for a few minutes, but hey, that feeling faded really quickly. I don't know. Andrea, it seems you don't like the game as much as I do. Which parts of...
My brother got the game
Uh-huh.
shortly before Christmas, I think.
Mhm.
And no, I don't care. It's like it's every Nintendo game released this in the last generation to me. Like it's New Super Mario Bros. It's hell, to an extent, it's even though I didn't really dislike the game as much as I didn't care for it, Mario Galaxy. It's like everyone is talking about how they're so charming and so good and so interesting and all the gameplay elements they nailed down so well. I don't see them. I see dullness. I see a dead and tired franchise slowly killing itself, desperately trying to do something new and failing at it.
Wow, that's negative.
Yeah, I mean, Link Between Worlds is not as big of a crime as New Super Mario is. Far from it.
Yeah.
But it's the closest. Hell, they were going to call it New Zelda. They're going to call it the The Legend of Zelda.
Wait,
I think
is
that's
that
pretty
for
much-
real?
Yes, that's real. In an interview with Itsuki Aonuma Miyamoto, they state that one of the working titles was New Legend of Zelda, just like New Super Mario Bros. And I think that just sort of sums it all up right there.
Well, yeah.
Because this is a game completely like it, just like the new Super Mario Bros. Series. It's a game that takes some new elements, admittedly, and just pushes them into a game that desperately wants to see, look how retro we are. Hey, remember that game you liked on the Super Nintendo? This is that game again. It's that thing all over again, and I can't stand it. No, I don't want the game on the Super Nintendo again. I thought what you did after that was fine. I thought you were heading in a good direction. You're going backwards, and you're killing yourself.
Yeah, see, to me, it's pretty much the other way around. I mean, I loved Ocarina of Time, but I've hated that ever since Ocarina of Time came out, pretty much every Zelda has been, hey, let's remake Ocarina of Time. So this is like a breath of fresh air to me. I mean, this is going... Honestly, obviously, it's going back to the roots of Zelda. It obviously is. But it's been so long since we actually played one of these games that to me it's so incredibly fresh. And it still does quite a few new things as well.
I don't know, I can't say it's that fresh either, because really it's not too far off of the same design that every top-down Zelda has had in between the 3D releases, except for the Four Swords series. So, no, I can't agree there. And with that said, I mean, it's not a bad game. It's not. Very rarely is a Nintendo game a bad game. They're just often dull, and this is one of the dullest ones. I mean, it's not Skyward Sword. Skyward Sword is a game I actively hated. I couldn't stand that game for many reasons, and admittedly, one of the reasons was the changes that game brought. That game changed a lot of the Zelda mechanics. It definitely did, but they changed it in a way that I didn't care for. So, taking one step back, I'd be fine with. Taking 10 steps back, no, I'm not. Because as much as I like A Link to the Past, I still prefer Majora's Mask. I still prefer Wind Waker. Hell, actually, after replaying Ocarina of Time on 3DS, I prefer Ocarina of Time. I prefer the 3D Zeldas. Which is fine. I mean, a 2D Zelda doesn't have to play like a 3D Zelda. But I felt that with the Minish Cap, even though I'm not a big fan of it, or even the Oracle games, you got the sense that they took the stuff that people liked about the quirks and the what's the word, gimmicks of the 3D Zeldas. They all had one. You had the Masks and Majora's Mask, you had the wolf parts in Twilight Princess, the boat, and they always took and sort of did something similar. And Link Between Worlds want to do something similar with the whole turn into a drawing mechanic where you walk on the walls.
Yeah.
But it's not interesting enough. It's not interesting. turning into a flat surface walking on a wall. That's not an interesting prospect to me. At all. So no, I just find the game immensely dull, and I don't care for the writing, I don't care for the new characters. I mean, I'm happy we have a new villain, because I've been complaining about Ganon being an overused villain. But I know that the only reason we have a new villain is because it's a portable game anyway.
Yeah, sadly.
The Zelda for Wii U is going to end up having a surprise reveal of some form of Ganon in some way in the end, because they had to, and so that doesn't matter.
What, you're saying there's not some kind of Ganon influence in the Link Between Worlds?
That's not what I said.
Okay. Okay, good. I was just wait.
I said we had a new villain.
Yeah, we do. We definitely do.
I mean, people will say, well, Zant was a new villain in Twilight Princess. Yeah, Zant was a new villain. But when Zant was shown as the villain in the second trailer, second or third trailer for Link to Twilight Princess, we had already gotten confirmation and concept art from Nintendo stating Ganondorf is in this game. So what the fuck was the point then?
Yeah, we know Ganon's gonna show up, so please, stop teasing us.
But that's a completely different issue that I have with the Zelda series. I like the series a lot, I really do. The only game I've actively hated in Zelda series is Skyward Sword. Every other game I either don't care for, like Link Between Worlds or to an extent Minish Cap, or I really, really fucking like the rest of them. Like I like Twilight Princess. People don't like Twilight Princess anymore because it's now old enough to which it's now popular to hate it again. Because that's the way popular games work. Because when the game came out, everyone was saying this might be the best Zelda game ever. I saw people I knew people who were saying that.
Yeah.
And they're now saying Twilight Princess was so bad. Man, it sucked. I'm like, no, it didn't. And you don't think so.
Yeah, well...
You're saying that now because it's popular to say it now.
Yeah, well, I remember it's a stupid section that you had to do 5 times throughout the game where you have to collect bugs as a wolf.
Yeah, 4 times, I think. Yeah. It's that's a part where it sucks. And Twilight Princess does have its flaws. Yeah. Absolutely. It absolutely does. It has a stupidly slow intro. It's it takes until you beat the 3rd temple to really get going, and that's a big drawback, and I won't take issue with anyone who can't get into the game because of that. As soon as you finish that 3rd temple and the little fetch quest afterwards, so you actually get to fully experience the game and you get to transform on your own, by your own will and stuff like that, that's when the game gets really fun. And I can look past that start and still really love the game, but I won't hold against anyone who can't, because I get that.
Yeah. That's one of those standard Zelda things. And it's still there in A Link Between Worlds. What's up with having to do 3 dungeons before the game properly opens up? What's up with that? I mean...
Well, yeah, that's definitely that's something to the past tradition.
Yeah.
Wind Waker didn't do that. Sort of. I mean, it kind of did, but kind of didn't. Because it has technically 3 dungeons, but one of their dungeons is stealthing without a sword.
Yeah.
And it's 4 minutes long.
Yeah. It's stupidly more than 4 minutes if you really suck at it and you don't find where you need to go.
If you fuck up, yeah.
Yeah, I remember taking me more than 4 minutes on my first playthrough. But yeah, upon reruns of the game, I noticed that this section wasn't half as bad as I remember it to be.
The Forest Temple and the Fire Temple, which they don't use those names, but whatever. Those are sort of the first two temples, and the third one, where you're expecting for the third one to happen, nothing happens. They're just given the blue orb.
Oh yeah.
Oh okay.
Well, isn't that Wind Waker?
I guess I go to the 4th temple then.
Isn't Wind Waker totally unfinished? I hear that's why they did the entire Triforce for Witch Hunt thing, where you just run around.
Almost every Zelda game is unfinished. Stupidly so. I believe there's some rumors that the Skyward Sword actually uses cut dungeons from either Twilight Princess or Wind Waker. Of course, Ocarina of Time has a lot of cut content and changes that happen.
Oh yeah. There's so many beta screenshots that show things that wait, this isn't in the game.
The prototype screenshots, most of the prototype screenshots, the ones that people like to point out, are just basically from tech demos. and not actually from what was going to be the game. But the ones that are from what was going to be the game, even there you can see like early stuff. Like we all know that Adult Link wasn't going to be in the game first. No, the other way around. Young Link wasn't going to be in the game first. Adult Link was going to actually live in Hyrule Castle Town, or Hyrule Marketplace, I think they call it in the game. And you have stuff like the temples were all different. Instead of a water temple, you had an ice temple, which the only stuff we have from that these days is the Ice Palace.
Yeah.
Was it the Ice Cave? Maybe it's called. Yeah.
Ice Cave.
The Force Temple wasn't the Force Temple; it was the Wind Temple. You can see remnants of that in Ganon's Tower. Because originally every temple would be accessed through Ganon's Tower, sort of like the castle in Mario 64 where you would enter paintings.
Oh, you mean so that's why there's mini versions of every temple in Ganon's Tower, because originally those doors didn't take you to those mini dungeons; they took you to the actual.
That I don't know, but it's possible. We know that in an early prototype you were going to basically explore Ganon's Towers to unlock the temples. And of course, there's remnants of the sword beam, which finally came back in Skyward Sword. Admittedly, it wasn't very useful in Skyward Sword, but at least we got it. There's you would use the medallions for spells, and you would instead of Din's Fire and Pharaoh's Wind and Navy's not Navy's. What's the third one?
Naira's Wisdom? No, that doesn't sound right.
Naira's Light, I think.
Oh, is it?
Something
That
like
sounds so easy, but probably.
But instead of those, you would use the 3 of the medallions, and the other 2 medallions would be something else. Like you can, if you want to read about Ocarina of Time prototype stuff, I am currently sort of lost in my memory what I'm trying to remember. But there's a lot of fun stuff there. Some of it that we actually have found code for and be able to recreate to an extent. Some of it that we will never ever be able to get a hold of. Some of it that was never actually meant to be. It was just tech demos, like the very first trailer people like to point out, where Link has brown hair, which was just a render done in the Mario 64 graphics engine to see how a Zelda game might look on Nintendo 64. Similar to the infamous Space World trailer with Link fighting Ganondorf, which everyone says was the original Wind Waker when they didn't have cartoon graphics.
Yeah.
Not realizing it was just a tech demo, never meant to be a game. Much like the Wii U Zelda demo, although that one was really cool.
Yeah, definitely.
I like the Wii U Zelda tech demo.
Yeah, that was way better, actually. That would I want to play this.
Yeah, to be fair, the one we're getting looks even more amazing, so
yeah, definitely.
That's fine.
And wasn't the Temple of Light originally intended to be an actual temple in Ocarina of Time? I remember reading that.
Yes, I believe you're right there. Although anytime someone says they've found a screenshot of a cut dungeon, they're wrong. No, you haven't. Because as far as I know, those dungeons were actually never actually made.
Yeah, I think they only made one room, and that's the room we got.
Yeah, people like to point out as well the obtain the Triforce in Zelda 64. That was never going to happen.
Yeah.
What happened was the test dungeon they made for the camera and the combat was a recreation of the first dungeon in Zelda 1, and instead of the ending where you get one piece of the Triforce, you would get a chest with the Triforce in them. That was the end of the test dungeon. That's all it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't the secret temple. It wasn't the Sky Temple. Okay? There is no Sky Temple.
And no pyramid either. The freaking pyramid room is like, I remember being so into those rooms as a kid. I tried all these crazy things you were supposed to be doing, and looking back at it now, what was I thinking? Like, nobody would make arbitrary criteria like that to find anything in a game. Like, oh my god, no.
Ocarina of Time has some really interesting stuff. Majora's Mask doesn't have much to it because that development was so rushed, and they couldn't really afford to cut any content in Majora's Mask.
Yeah.
Because, Majora's Mask, if you don't know, with Eiji Aonuma, came to Miyamoto, said, I have an idea for another Zelda game on Nintendo 64. Miyamoto said, you're insane. We can't put out another one on the same console. There won't be enough time for that. Tell you what, if you can make it within 1 year, do it. I'm not going to be a part of this. That's basically it. which is why he only had 12 months to develop Majora's Mask, which is why he recycled a lot of character models and textures from Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
Although it does update a lot of them. Link's model is way more high-res, but yeah. So they really couldn't afford to cut much content. A few things were cut, like Adult Link was cut, replaced with Fierce Data Link.
Wait, Adult Link was planned?
Yeah, you would use the adult mask to become Adult Link. That one you can actually find a screenshot or two that has the adult mask in the C button section. But yeah, that one was that. And you would originally get your magic. There was something else you would get magic wise from the Great Fair that you don't get in the final game that you can actually find the cutscene for because it's still in the code. Twilight Princess, Wind Waker has a lot of content, but not really anything that's too interesting. Mostly it's like test rooms and stuff like that. Twilight Princess has a lot because that game was originally going to have magic, and the magic was taken out in the last 6 months or something. In fact, the screenshots on the back of the original box still shows the magic meter.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
The magic meter was going to be used to transform into a wolf, and among other things. There was going to be slimes, or what do you call those? They're not called slimes in Zelda, they're called choo-choos, I think.
Yeah, that.
They're going to be green choo-choos that you would get by mixing the blue and yellow choo-choos, I think, something like that, to be able to scoop up and get the magic potion. There's a golem made out of bees.
Really?
There's a golem made out of bees. I really hope I'm not making this up and remembering wrong. No, there's a golem made out of bees, and that's in the code. You can check it out on YouTube. There's a lot of cut enemies. Twilight Princess is a very interesting game to look back at what they did, because they basically kept cutting stuff in order to, I guess, just make it more like Ocarina of Time. Because that seems to be... Because after Wind Waker, after Wind Waker and Majora's Mask, as much love those games get today, fans were pissed off about those games.
Oh,
they were really pissed off, because it wasn't Ocarina of Time 2.
Yeah.
Twilight Princess in a lot of ways just kept being like more and more Ocarina of Time-ish. But since they didn't want to make the exact same game, so they kept some odd stuff in there. Like you never actually get... You were going to get a instrument in one of the early versions, I believe. I don't remember what it was, though. But yeah, go check all that stuff out. It's really interesting to check out Zelda prototypes and stuff. They have a bunch of amazing content in there, and I would recommend checking out. I don't think Skyward Sword has anything interesting, but I haven't really looked into it. I could be wrong there. Because I think actually, I don't know how much we can look into it. That might be it, actually. Because I think the cut content Twilight Princess was finally found in the GameCube version. But, yeah. But no, check that out. Check out Ocarina of Time and Twilight Princess. They have some really cool content.
I think wouldn't one of the reasons that Majora's Mask doesn't have a lot of cut content be simply that, you have feature creep always when you're making video games. Even Nintendo does. I mean, Nintendo likes to imagine that they are like the perfect people who always finish their games 100% according to the design document. I don't think that's really necessarily true. But, okay, they get closer than most people. But you have feature creep. Especially during long projects, like, Ocarina of Time was a long project, Twilight Princess was a long project, etc. But Majora's Mask, they knew they were getting 1 year. So that one year, they planned out every single fucking texture, every little thing was planned to minuscule detail right off the bat.
And that's what makes the game so fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Too. Putting limitations on yourself is one of the most important aspects in content creation. And Majora's Mask shows that. Fun fact, Ocarina of Time was going to be a first-person game.
Oh yeah, because Miyamoto originally said he doesn't like third-person games, right? Yeah,
he doesn't see how... he didn't like the idea of an adventure game being third-person, because how can you take in... how could you find Hyrule believable in 3D if you weren't seeing with your own eyes, or something like that? And he likes first-person shooters. He's gone on record to say it. Apparently he's a big fan of GoldenEye, I think he said. He probably was basically imagining Ocarina of Time originally as basically a first-person bow and arrow shooter thing. But then when he actually got to see the world and they played around with different things, they settled in the third person and the lock-on mechanic.
Yeah.
Which, of course, is the only reason you have Navi in the game. It's really to have a lock-on mechanic.
Yep.
Which now they don't even bother. They're just like, yeah, just use a lock-on mechanic.
Yeah,
Which
here's a
I
huge
kind
error.
of miss Navi.
You miss Navi?
Okay, I miss Tattle. Tattle wasn't as annoying as Navi. But, I like the idea of, like, there actually being a logical reason. Like having a little friend pointing out where your enemies are, I kind of like that.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, I never disliked Navi. She gets so much shit online. But, I don't know, I always just thought she was nice and sweet. I
didn't mind her in the first time I played the game, but upon every time I replay it, every time she stops the game to say anything, it pisses me off.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in the 3DS remake, when they added in more stuff for her to say.
Oh, they did? I didn't notice that.
They added in that she can now abort you and say, "You've been playing for a long time. Maybe you should put down the game."
I don't remember that, but I guess maybe she did.
It happened to me twice on playing the game. So I actually put it down both times. I think I played the game in 3 sittings when I played it.
So basically, you listened to her.
Yeah, because I got annoyed and I don't want to play a game when I'm annoyed. Tattle is so much better because it's just a little bell in the upper right corner and that's it.
Yeah.
I like Tattle. And Tattle had way more of a personality than Navi too.
Yeah, but both of them did. Even though one of them had like 5 lines or something.
Tattle and Tail.
Yeah. Oh, Majora's Mask. Can we get this freaking remake already?
Calm down. We have 2 Zelda games coming out.
I know. But, Majora's Mask.
We got Link Between Worlds last year. We have time 2 years before that. We'll get Majora's Mask next year.
Hopefully.
I don't see why they wouldn't put it. It's not like Nintendo themselves will be developing it anyway. They would give it to Gresso again, so
yeah.
They gotta have something to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would like a Majora's Mask remake.
The question is, though, should or should they not remake the character models from Ocarina of Time?
I think they should, because Link doesn't have the same outfit. Yes, there are differences in Link's outfit. You can even see them on the Majora's Mask 3D model.
But, like, aside from Link, I mean, like, all the characters, NPCs, like, the bank guy is that guy...
Well, most of them have different outfits.
Isn't the bank guy just looking exactly the same?
Maybe. That might be the one of the few ones.
Yeah.
But most of them are just... like they keep the same model, but they have they're retextured. I don't really care either way. I just want to play it in like 60 frames per second with no slowdowns.
Yeah, that would be killer.
And no GameCube version freezing on me.
GameCube version freezing?
The GameCube version released in Zelda's Collector's Edition, the Club Nintendo exclusive Zelda release of Zelda 1, 2, Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask for GameCube.
Yeah, I know. I got the disc.
Terribly emulated.
Oh?
This is a known issue. You can read about it online. Like, the Majora's Mask version will randomly freeze. And sometimes up to, like, multiple times in an hour. I have never been able to finish the GameCube version.
Wow.
Now, I played 4 different discs.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know that there's a little sign on when you're at the select your Zelda game screen. It says, like, oh, this game's going to have some audio issues. And I noticed those, definitely. It's pretty much the same audio issues you get when you're playing on a fan-made emulator.
Yeah, thankfully, if you have a Wii or a Wii U, thankfully the Majora's Mask release on Virtual Console is splendid. Works beautiful. So that one is definitely playable. Although it still has the slowdowns. So, whatever. That's actually one thing. Wii has the best Nintendo 64 emulation. Like, out of all... even though fan emulation for 64 has been going on since, like, 2000, Wii is by far the best emulation for Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
It's like the one thing Wii has above anything else. Like, not even Wii games run as good on Wii as they do on a PC, but 64 games, yeah, the Wii is made to play 64 games. That's basically what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, if you make the console yourself, you got all the specs, you got every single number, you got everything available to you, every single blueprint. Making an emulator of something you already own yourself and got all the documentation for, it shouldn't be that difficult, I think.
It shouldn't. Yes, 64 is the only one they do better.
I mean, is there something wrong with this Super Nintendo emulation, for instance?
There are some issues with the visuals, yeah. Same with NES. NES has some really big issues. They might have been fixed now. But when I played the Wii, the NES version of Zelda 1, for example, had awful darkness issues.
Oh?
Yeah, really bad. But now I'm reminiscing of the year 2006. That's not true. The Virtual Console didn't open up in 2007. 2007 must have been, yeah. But yeah, it was a weird time. But 64 games, yep, they're perfect. They're as perfect as you will get not playing on a 64.
Yeah.
Which is why I want a 3DS version, because slowdowns.
Yeah, but, it's supposed to have the slowdowns in there. It's an emulator. A proper emulator emulates the slowdowns as well.
I know!
So
that's why I want the 3DS version.
Yeah, so let's hope the 3DS version is a remake and not an emulator, so we actually get to remove the slowdowns. And,
yeah.
Oh my god, 60 frames per second, Majora's Mask, can you even imagine? By the way,
I can.
I just thought of Street Pass, that reminded me of Street Pass in A Link Between Worlds. How killer is that Street Pass functionality? Have you used it?
No.
Do you know what it is? Or perhaps
No.
I should explain anyway for our DO viewers.
Explain.
Basically, you walk up to the Street Pass guy. Like, he's even referred to as the Street Pass guy in character. It's fantastic. So he asks you, okay, when you go out to other lands through Street Pass, how do you want to be? So you select, 2 items, I think. Yeah, 2 items onto your character, and every item is worth a certain amount of bounty points, which is the amount of points people get if they defeat your character later. Because what happens is, you select how your character appears in Street Pass, you walk past someone who also owns Link Between Worlds, then you swap links, and you get to fight their Link as Shadow Link in the game, with the background music being the Last Temple music from Zelda 2. It's amazing! I was playing this random person's Dark Link just a few hours ago, and oh my god, I was blown away. It was so epic. I want to walk past everyone now. I want to fight everyone's Link. It copies everything, the armor, their name even. Not that most people pick a name other than Link, but hey, whatever.
Should.
But yeah, I sent out my character first wearing a bow and a bottle of milk. Because that way my character can heal up. I'm meeting a character later who had 2 fairies in his bottles. 2 bottles, that's all he got. So he had a sword and 2 bottles. I realized that, hey, it's not that difficult to dodge an AI swording. So let's not do that myself. So I swapped out my milk. And now I think I'm doing boomerang and bow, I think. So hopefully I'm going to get to hear from people how my Dark Link is doing while I get to kick their Dark Link's ass. I don't know, I find that really, really nice to defeat other people's Links. It's like getting a sneak peek at that Zelda PvP experience I always wanted since I was a kid, but never got. It's nice.
I did a video about Zelda and PvP.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of.
Okay.
It's on my YouTube channel. It's called... what the fuck did I call it? A video game show what I also did myself. Zelda, I think? It's basically a homage to the video game show what I done that Rory Fingers does. And it involves the entire Zelda series. Zelda 1, Zelda 2, Zelda 3, and the upcoming Zelda 4. So, check that out. And now that we've had a whole lot of Zelda, is there anything else we should talk about?
I don't think so. We've been talking about everything Zelda for quite a while.
Yeah, Zelda is it's a good old series. I first played it in the mid '90s on an NES. It was the second Zelda game I played first, actually. Yeah.
You played Zelda 2 before Zelda 1?
Yeah.
Huh. I don't think I've ever met someone who actually played them in that order before.
Basically, I used to go to this daycare that had an NES, and they probably had more games, but I remember 3 games they had: Zelda, Zelda 2, Blades of Steel. I didn't read the Zelda 2 part. I read the Zelda, the Link, and Blades of Steel. So I just figured Zelda and Link were sort of like they were both gold cartridges. I realized they were, and they had sort of the same picture. I didn't realize they were sequels and prequels. So I just sort of went with the first one, I guess, and it ended up being The Adventure of Link, and that became the first Zelda I played. And then moved on to Zelda 1, which I don't like as much as Zelda 2. I like Zelda 2 a lot. Like a whole lot. I think it's a damn fine game. You know what? If Nintendo's gonna do a bunch of going back to old style, I wouldn't mind seeing a new Zelda 2 style game. That could be pretty cool. And while you're at it, how about a Mario Bros. 2 style game?
We already have a Super Mario Bros. 2. We got it like just recently. It's called 3D World.
No, that's not at all like Mario Bros. 2.
Kind of is. It's in 3D, but it's the same thing-ish.
It plays nothing like Mario. You can jump on enemies.
Yeah.
You don't jump on enemies in Mario Bros. 2.
Well, you do, but you don't defeat them that way.
Exactly. You pick them up and throw them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Where's Mouser?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Mario 3D World is just another, admittedly, a fucking awesome Mario game, but it's just that is another one of the where we're playing it safe Mario games. It's just one of the better ones.
You can play as Peach. That's like, whoa, it sells me the game right there.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
And she gets to flow to the same way.
Of course, you could play as Peach in Mario Bros. 2, so...
Yeah, and she does the
I
same...
will still stick with
She does the same floaty jump in both the games, too.
Yeah. You remember how she was going to be in New Super Mario Bros. Wii, but then they decided that it was too hard to program it fair for her to have that move? So they removed it and replaced it with a Toad.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't own New Super Mario Brothers. I might as well just now say that that's why. It's actually not why, but I could say it is that's why.
Yeah, no, 3D World actually legitimately surprised me that I cared for it, because I haven't cared for a Mario game since Mario Sunshine, so that's really surprised me. But yeah. That's another game. Mario Sunshine 2. I will gladly play that.
I'm more hyped for Zelda 2 in that case. Zelda 2 too. I would play that.
It's not that the same teams will be working on Zelda 2 or Mario Sunshine 2.
Mm.
Oh, I really doubt that.
Yeah, probably not. But if I could just have one, I would pick Zelda 2 too.
Well, you know, even better, Nintendo. Do something new.
Now you're scaring me.
To be fair, Nintendo's doing quite a bit new now.
Yeah.
And that made me really happy. Like, E3 overall made me really happy. Nintendo has definitely gone over and becoming my buddies again, so to say. Which I sort of didn't expect to happen, so that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, they won E3. I mean, we got Splatoon going on, we got Captain Toad, we got... I never remember the name of that game. You know, Yoshi's Epic Yarn.
Yoshi's Woolly World,
yeah.
Yes. It's like the best name.
Yeah, I don't ever remember it. So I guess...
Yeah, you have Kirby and the Rainbow Curse,
yeah,
which was really fun.
Yeah.
Claymation Kirby, yes.
Which is basically Canvas Curse on a Wii U.
Yeah, with Claymation. Yeah.
And I really like that game. It's like the best...
Oh, did you hear, by the way, Mario Maker is going to be a retail game?
Are you kidding me? I mean, considering the limitations we saw to the Nintendo 3.
I'm going to assume they'll be revealing a bunch of new styles of making the levels in, because if that's what they're going with, and they're going for retail, that will be traded in so quickly by so many people.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not paying $60 for what we saw at the Nintendo Treehouse. Would I play with what I saw at the Nintendo Treehouse? Definitely. But $60? No. No, not gonna happen. And considering it says Nintendo on the box, you know it stays at $60 for, like, years.
Yeah.
Which is a testament to how great their games usually are, I guess. But, you know, still, it stays at $60, and I'm not picking that up for $60. Like, oh no, you can't place more Goombas in your level, because, you know, you've hit this arbitrary limit that we put on the game. Not that the Wii U would have an issue rendering more Goombas than this, but, you know, we just felt that, no, you're not having more than 10 enemies. And we just decided that, no, you're not going to get to scroll the camera vertically, because that would mean...
Or backwards.
Oh, yeah.
No, you can backwards.
Yeah,
you can backwards.
you can go backwards. Yeah. But, you know, if you could go vertically, you can make...
That legitimately surprised me.
Well, you know, you could do so much if you could just move at least one screen vertically. But no, none of that. We got object limit, and can you even select how long your stage is going to be?
I don't know.
I didn't see them playing with that setting. So if there is a setting like that, we don't know about it.
Yeah, because right now it's just World 1 simulator.
Yeah.
And that's not really what I wanted. But yeah.
Yeah, but if they keep expanding on the game, and by that I don't mean just putting more tiles in there, like, oh, you can change your look to be like other worlds than 1-1 if you want to. Like, actually put some work into that. It's a solid framework to begin with. I like the idea, but do it properly.
Yeah.
Do it properly, and I'll buy it day one, retail for $60. But the way it is now, no, not gonna happen. Then again, I suppose the game isn't coming out next week, and we saw it.
No, it's coming out winter.
Yeah, then the demo we saw at the Treehouse should have been more complete, if it was going to be much more complete than that. So I was thinking that, hey, perhaps this is just early days, and they're adding.
It should be early, because they have to add a lot in 6 months. I mean, they clearly already had perfected the 1-1, so they gotta do more stuff. I'm just worried because they didn't even mention that they would be doing this stuff. So yeah,
I'm assuming at least that they're going to allow us to make different kinds of levels, like, you know, oh, so here's one of those tree levels instead, etc.
I wonder if you can make an auto-scroller.
Oh, yeah, that's a good question.
You know, the levels no one likes.
I actually like quite a few of those.
Of course you do.
Am I a terrible person now?
Yeah.
Am I not allowed on these podcasts anymore now?
No, this podcast is only terrible person.
But yeah, I like swimming stages too. I'm like the weirdest person ever. Everyone hates water stages. Only water stages I don't like are the water temples in Zelda. Which, by the way, quick aside, I'm stuck in A Link Between Worlds at the fucking water temple. Why is this not surprising me? Okay, back to whatever we were talking about earlier, like Mario Maker. Swimming sections. They're actually pretty awesome. I like the sense of freedom moving in 360 degrees, and there's usually a pretty nice soundtrack going on in the background as well. I don't know why people hate them. Do you hate them?
What levels?
Yeah.
Sometimes. I don't. They're not really go to it. They're not ice levels or sewer levels.
Oh, fucking ice levels.
I mean, I like the water temple in Ocarina of Time, for example.
Yeah, I like it. It's just I remember getting stuck in it so much as a kid.
Yeah, as a kid, I would get stuck in it too. Today, I can just blaze through it in 40 minutes. So yeah.
Yeah. Link Between Worlds, though.
I think I somewhere have an old speedrun of the water temple saved. I should find that.
Put it on YouTube and be like, "Hey, this is how you do it."
No, it wasn't that good. I used to race with a friend of mine who really loved Ocarina of Time. Yeah.
Oh, I should have watched someone speedrunning the Water Temple in A Link Between Worlds so that I know where to go.
Well, you should have watched Summer Games Done Quickly then.
Yeah, I know, but I deliberately went out of my way not to watch that because I knew that I'm playing this right now. I'm not going to watch a speedrun of a game I'm currently playing. That's just not going to happen. So I skipped it deliberately.
Oh man, Summer Games Done Quick was so good.
Yeah, quite a few great runs.
The best run was Bubble Bobble.
I
can't believe that was oh my god. So it starts off with it's Meta Sigma and Darkwing Duck. So DW and Meta Sigma are running it. Meta Sigma's late. So they're like, well, they're setting up, like, the game is running, and like, they're just waiting for him. And he comes running in like crazy, hyperventilating, like, he's finally there. And he puts on the microphone, like, he finally gets it on. The first question, DW is like, so you ready to go? And he's like, no, I'm not ready to go. I just ran a fucking mile, and then he realized that he's on a PG-13 stream. And he's like, oh. And it gets better from there on out. That 40-minute run is just constantly Meta Sigma yelling at DW for fucking things up. And it's glorious. I was laughing my ass off. It was like the best sitcom ever. It was wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
So basically the run wasn't good, but the run
was good too. The run was really good. But like the runners were made it magical. Like, truly magical. Some other great runs were Doom 64, Half-Life 2, Portal 1 race was really fun. Most of the races were really fun, actually.
I love the idea of races.
Yeah, the races were really cool. There was a race in Super Monkey Ball 2, I think, for GameCube. And, like, literally, I think they swapped, like, leader positions, like, about 10 times in the last 2 minutes or something.
Whoa.
It was amazing. It was really cool. So yeah, I jumped in right as the first run was starting, which was Mario 3D World. And I didn't end until last night when the bonus stream ended, so I've been constantly watching it. Absolutely loving it. It was glorious.
Yeah, I wish I could have watched more live. I need to catch up on quite a bit. Like you said, Doom 64 run, for instance, I really want to see that because I really love Doom 64.
Yeah, that was a really neat run.
That's probably my favorite Doom.
It's a damn cool game. They ran Doom 1 as well. I think they raced Doom 1. Yeah, they did. They raced Doom 1, which was really cool as well.
Yeah, that makes the Doom 1 even better.
Yeah, they played Heretic, which was cool too. But yeah, it was just overall really neat, and I had my name being read out during the Mischief Makers run, or my donation being read out. Besides, my name was actually fucked up, which kind of bugged me. But yeah, whatever.
What did they say?
Well, they didn't go for my. I wrote in the alias what they were going to call me. I wrote Andrea, but they didn't use my legal name and fucked that up instead.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, whatever. But yeah, so that was neat. And I'm looking forward to the European one on July 15th. What's it called? European Speedster Association, or whatever they call themselves.
I have no idea. I actually didn't know there was a European version until you said that just now.
It starts on July 15th, and I'm looking forward to that as well. That'll be really cool. It's right before QuakeCon, so July for me will be my birthday, followed by Speedrun Marathon, followed by QuakeCon, followed by Narcon.
Cool.
So yeah, July will be interesting.
Oh my god. You know, I always, like, watching the streams this time around, I felt so bad that my economy is much worse this year than it has been for years prior. Because, you know, I always put money into these things. And now I just sat there watching, and I was like, yeah, it would be even more fun if I could donate. That kind of sucks, yeah. It kind of takes a bit out of the experience. Same thing with watching the video not live. It just takes something out of the whole donation drive spirit of the whole thing. Why don't they show games done quick on TV?
Probably even more license issues.
Oh.
Remember, technically, a lot of companies wouldn't allow for this to happen.
Yeah.
Right, Nintendo? Don't you want a cut of the money they're making when they're speedrunning 3D World?
Oh.
Right? For charity?
You know, now I want them to try to televise it, because I want to see which companies are asshats enough to actually go up against it. Like, no, we're not going to allow you to use our game to raise money for charity.
Some other ones people should watch is from the bonus stream, the Fighting Masters, I think it's called. It's just an NES fighting game that they have a tournament in.
Oh, wow.
It's amazing. And also go check out the Ribbit King, where 4 people play competitively in Ribbit King, which, if you don't know, is frog golf. As in golf, where the golf ball is a frog.
I don't know if that sounds absolutely fantastic or if it's absolutely terrible.
It's amazing. There are 3 guys who have played it a lot and 1 guy who hasn't played it before.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing. And at one point they just tape the guy who hasn't played it before, and they tape his mouth over with a cross so he can't speak.
Well, because he's certainly going, that's bollocks! Or what?
I'm not gonna spoil anything.
Okay.
It was amazing. Like, some games on Quick really made me happy. It was really cool to watch all of it, and can't wait for ESA, and I can't wait for Awesome Games on Quick this winter. That should be fun.
Yeah. These events always are.
Yeah. So I've been playing very few games. I've been playing Age of Empires 2 HD with a couple of friends a lot. That's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't played that in forever, so getting back into it is weird. And I always preferred Age of Empires 1, so I'm sort of still a bit upset that I can't play as the Romans.
High five.
Yeah. But it's still fun. It's a lot of fun. Been having a lot of fun with that. Currently trying to learn to play as the Huns, I think. Yeah. But yeah, it's a good time. Civilization 5. Been playing that a bunch. Civilization 4 as well. Got really pissed off in Civilization 4 because the computer keeps stealing my my diplomacy wins. In that I'm the one found in the European nations. No, not the European Nations, but the United Nations, and they're the ones winning on it. That shouldn't be happening. Fuck you, computer.
Wow.
It all comes down to a vote. And you would think that me making sure everyone, like giving everyone the resources, keeping everyone afloat, making sure everyone is friends and all that stuff, you think they would be voting for me. No. They vote for Gandhi, the guy who wants to nuke us all.
What's up with Gandhi always nuking people in every single game?
That's coded into his personality in the game.
Yeah.
It's all one big joke.
Yeah, it's in Civilization as well.
Yep. In every Civilization Gandhi is in that has AI that has AI custom after the ruler, Gandhi is crazy at war basically.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I love it.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like Gandhi declared war on you.
Gandhi and Montezuma, those two are the worst.
Yeah. But Montezuma kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, but Gandhi throwing nuclear weapons.
I like the way Montezuma greets you in Civ 4, which is like, "Oh, hello there, petty nation. Let's sacrifice a few slaves in order to remember a meeting," or something like that.
Oh wow.
Like, no, I don't. I'm sorry, I don't have slaves. I love Civilization. Doom 3. Been learning how to speedrun Doom 3 actually, because I haven't done that in a while. trying to learn all the new passes that's been found since 2005. There's
Quite
many.
a few.
Yeah. I didn't even know you could do barrel jumps, but apparently you can. But only in 1.0, not in 1.3, so I had to go and find my original Doom 3 disc and install the vanilla version, unpatched. Because apparently if you hold down the sprint key and you get hit by an explosion, the game thinks you're running as you are hit by the recoil of the explosion, and will basically just shoot you off in a sprint with your sprint strength in the same direction, in midair. So you basically are getting a free bunny hop sidestep style skip, but way larger at the same speed.
Oh, nice.
Takes a lot of your health, yes, but when you can skip good parts of the level, then that's fine. I'm annoyed though, because there's one skip that I don't think is possible. I've been trying now for a while, and I haven't seen it done. So, if it is possible, and I'm able to do it, I would probably be the first one. In the second level of Doom 3, Mars City Underground, there is a explosive barrel before you trigger the demons. It's right before you get to a couple of dark stairs going down. And if you're able to guide that barrel out to the bridge before it, you should, in theory, be able to barrel jump the way up to a balcony, which is not meant to be on towards the end of that level. And I cheated, and I went into no clip, and I just put myself on the balcony before anything was spawned, and it works to finish the level from there. If you were to be able to barrel jump up there, if you're able to make a skip, you'd be skipping about 75-80% of the entire level. And that's one of the longer levels, because there's a lot of times you have to wait for things. So, I'm trying to figure that out. But yeah, it's fun. Doom 3 is still my favorite shooter, and speedrunning it has been a lot of fun too. I think that's what I've played. Can't think of anything else.
But Doom 3 is always nice, so...
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's not like I played a lot either, and I didn't play Doom 3.
You should have.
The amazing Doom game, which gets so much shit from people for no reason.
Yep.
That's basically Doom 3.
Which is Doom 3 and Doom 64.
Yeah.
Both games are very similar, actually. Like, Doom 64 is much more like Doom 3 than people realize.
Yeah.
Like, the way it deals with darkness and stuff, like, it's very Doom 3.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was afraid playing Doom 64 originally. I wasn't afraid when I played Doom 1 or 2. I mean, it's kind of...
I was, but yeah.
I think I can ruin it by playing it without a sound card.
Yes, you did. Doom 1's horror lies entirely in its audio.
Yeah.
It's got the creepiest fucking sound effects for the atmosphere.
What are you talking about? My chain gun was like, oh, 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 from a PC speaker. It was amazing.
I fucking love PC speaker sound. Wolfenstein 3D has the best PC speaker sound.
Yeah. That's...
You like pick up when you pick up treasures and stuff. And you just go, yeah, exactly. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, that's how I played that as well. Because no sound card.
Yeah, that's how I played a lot of games as well when I was a kid.
And then I later learned that if you actually play with a sound card, the Nazis actually say shit to you. What?
Yep. Yes, they do.
They don't just sound... like the bosses do when you're playing on PC speaker.
Yes. Oh, I need to finish New Order. Wolfenstein New Order has been fucking amazing. It's my game of the year so far. It's everything I wanted out of a modern first-person shooter.
I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Hell, it's everything I wanted out of a first-person shooter. Period. So yeah. Alright, shall we wrap up perhaps?
Yeah, I think we've been doing this for a while.
Alright, well, what's your Twitter?
It's kid_n7, that is KIDD_n and the number 7.
And I'm Andrea_Ritsu. See you next week. Bye.
Bye!
Friends, it is not over yet. In time, a successor will come. Farewell, friends.